And with us on the phone, we have U.S. Army Garrison Japan Commander Colonel Thomas Matelski with us. Sir, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Good morning, Sky G. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. I wanted to be one of the first over here from AFN Tokyo to welcome you to Japan, and thank you for calling in and continuing where Colonel Gage left off.
Yeah, no problem. So it's a pleasure to be talking to you and all the listeners this morning and for having me on your show. I just wanted to introduce myself. So I'm Colonel Tom Matelski, and the new commander here at Camp Zama is U.S. Army Garrison Japan. So it's amazing. Our family just arrived 30 days ago today. And in the short time that we've been here, I've already gotten the chance to meet so many members of this great Zama team and the local community. I couldn't be more excited to work with all the great soldiers, civilians, and our master labor contractors, our local national workforce here as we continue to do great things and strengthen our bilateral partnership with our host nation. So speaking of that, this past weekend I got to experience some wonderful Japanese culture for the first time. On behalf of our commanding general, Major General Luong, and Command Sergeant Major Beeson, we hosted our annual Odori Festival on Saturday. It's the 60th year that we've had the festival here at Camp Zama, and I learned that it's easily the most widely attended of our major open post events. We had almost 20,000 visitors this year, and it was a joy to celebrate the 60th anniversary and celebrate a momentous occasion. So from the start of the event at 1 p.m. all the way to the end of the night, we had something going on for the whole community to enjoy. There was a DJ and live music, and we had performances from our very own U.S. Army Japan Band, who put on a great show. We had games and activities for the children, dozens of food vendors, and all kinds of refreshments, and even a taiko drummer performance that allowed us to dance. But the centerpiece was the dancing, which is held out on our softball field. And one of the first things my family and I did after we arrived was to start bond dance lessons so that we could be ready. And so when it was my turn to be up there on this bond tower stage, I was ready to go. And it was just fantastic to see everyone out there enjoying the event and getting to participate in an important part of our Japanese culture. And then we finished up with a great fireworks show. I couldn't be happier with how the event turned out. And I know that U.S. Army Japan looks forward to being able to share this event again next year with our community and our Japanese friends.
Yeah, that's awesome. And wow, 60 years strong going for that festival over there at Camp Zama. That's incredible. I'm glad everyone's still getting in the spirit as far as Bonodori. Was it hard to learn the dance? I heard it wasn't too bad.
So some of them are more complicated than others. Mine, I think, was a little bit more simple, but the one that the spouses had to do in some of our units, it was a lot like line dancing, but we were up to the challenge, and we did it.
That's awesome. I'm glad it wasn't such a learning curve. And, speaking of learning, I know something else on a lot of people's minds is going to be this back to school coming up, huh? What do you got for us?
Yeah, so for all the kids that are out there listening, you might want to cover up your ears because it's almost time to go back to school again. So as you all know, school-age children in our community, summer vacation's winding down, and we're about to start the 2019 to 2020 school year, which begins in, 3 weeks. The first days of class for both Zama American Middle High School and Arn Elementary School is August 26th. So I'd like to remind parents that now is the time to make sure your students have all the school supplies they need and they're caught up on their sports physicals. I know the football teams are already practicing and that they're ready for another great year.
Yeah, big shout out to really all the sports teams that are hooking us up with some awesome games as far as Camp Zama. And I also wanted to mention too that it's crazy to think that 3 weeks away is going to be back to school. I wouldn't blame those kiddos from covering their ears as well. And now, if anyone does need any more information, do you know where they can go as far as any kind of website or whatnot?
Sure. So DoDEA is getting ready for the school year, and I know they're looking forward to it. The entire leadership team at our elementary, middle, and high schools want to ensure parents and students have all the resources that they need to succeed. And I know that our team over at DoDEA is dedicated to making sure students at all grade levels are given the academic foundation, social skills, and counseling services necessary to be ready for the next grade level, college, and beyond. So if anybody needs information on any of our schools, they can visit the DoDEA website at www.dodea.edu, and they can also contact our school liaison office located in Camp Zama's Army Community Services Building, 402, or even they can call DSN 263-5441.
Excellent, sir. Yeah, stay tuned in, everyone listening. We have a lot more stuff to talk about over there at Camp Zama, including anything from Readiness to some sports events coming up with Colonel Matelski over here, the U.S. Army Garrison Japan Commander. Alrighty, 8:30 on your Thursday morning. You are tuned into the Morning Mix-Up with me, Scotty G. And in case you are just tuning in, you are missing out because we have with us on the phone the U.S. Army Garrison Japan Commander, Colonel Thomas Matelski. Sir, how you doing once again?
I'm all right, Scotty G. It's glad to be back and ready to talk a little bit more.
Yes, a big shout out to you and your family for coming on over here to Japan for the first time. We want to welcome you once again here from AFN. I know we talked about your introduction, a little bit about the Odori Festival you guys had there over last weekend, I believe, on the 3rd. So I'm glad that it went well. And we also talked about some back-to-school news, unfortunately for the kiddos having to cover their ears. But it is important. It's coming up quickly. And another thing we should kind of keep in the back of our minds, too, that's pretty important as well, is readiness. Isn't that right?
Yeah. So as you probably know, readiness is one of the most critical components of a successful Army, but also for our other services. So for our soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines, we're trained to be ready for things like deployments and field exercises. The readiness goes beyond just that. So, for instance, it's August already, and August is Anti-Terrorism Awareness Month, which is designed to raise awareness not only of the threat of terrorism, but also to encourage regular vigilance and communication to report potential threats. So it's not as much of a threat here in Japan, but we always have to be vigilant. And you probably heard the phrase, and sometimes you see it on the train system, if you see something, say something. And so while here at Camp Zama, we have a number of tools available to our community that allows them to report any suspicious activity or behavior that they may see. And all these are in line with the Army's iWatch campaign. And so for U.S. Army Japan, the number to call is 262-8177. And the U.S. Army Garrison Japan number is 263-4182. But anyone can call any of those numbers. You don't have to be a soldier. You could be an airman. You could be anybody and or belong to a specific unit to call that number. So you can also call our military police at 263-3002 or commercial 046-407-3002 if you want to call from your cell phone.
Excellent, yeah. And I think it's important, too, to know that it's better to be safe than sorry. A lot of the times, I know that we kind of get frustrated as far as false alarms, but I'd rather be false alarm than not take it seriously,
Oh, that's right. And it's not just about suspicious activity that we got to be ready for. Being located in Japan comes with different types of natural disasters, like the volcano that started erupting last night, or the typhoon that's grazing Okinawa that can often strike our area. So with that in mind, Camp Zama takes very seriously the month of September, which is coming up pretty quickly too, which is National Preparedness Month. So this observance helps reiterate to everyone in our community that the importance of being ready in the event of any kind of emergency, particularly natural disasters. And so still fresh in our minds for a lot of us is the earthquake and tsunami that struck Japan in 2011 that really showed us that even though natural disasters are the cause of the majority of devastation in a limited area, they can affect the entire country. So for days, weeks, and even months that followed, it was a time of uncertainty, and with emergency rescue operations and concerns about radiation and the supply of food, water, and other necessities. So that's why we had to be prepared, because these disasters can happen at any time. We had that shaker, I think it was on Sunday, that kind of reminded me that we got to be ready. And so National Preparedness Month, again, just reiterates that importance.
Yes, sir. I'm not sure if you were originally from somewhere in the States where there was earthquakes. I was definitely not. I was from New York. We didn't even know what an earthquake was. And starting to feel these here and there, it's really weird. It's a weird, strange feeling that the ground moving below you and a really wake-up call that, hey, it may be small now, but you never know. And especially with these natural disasters, too, in case you're maybe new to Japan, as far as if you're listening, don't forget that if we go into T-Core 2 or lower here at Yokota or any of the bases in the Kanto Plain, we'll be on the air for 24/7. That's right, 24/7-hour ops. You'll hear Scotty G maybe at midnight talking about some random stuff, but we're going to be keeping you up to date with anything and everything typhoon safety, and as well as what's the updates around the Kanto Plain. But on a lighter note, I know you did want to mention some sports events too happening over there at Camp Zama. What do you got for us?
Oh yeah, the sports season is upon us, and so we have a monthly publication called The Bugle, which has all the details on it, on every event happening in the community for the month. So it's a great resource, particularly for our families like mine, having 3 teenagers and looking for stuff to do, both inside and outside the installation. Looking at this month's issue, it's very clear to me that this community is very enthusiastic about sports and offering so many opportunities to get outside and get active, even though it's hot. So I'd like to highlight a few sporting events that are happening this month. And so upcoming this Saturday, on August 10th, the Camp Zama Golf Club is hosting a 2-person best ball event with a shotgun start at 6:30 a.m. So while it's still kind of cool outside, relatively at least, this event is open to any amateur golfer with a current U.S. Golf Association or JGA handicap. If you enter, you can pick up your own partner or sign up as an individual and be paired with someone at random. The field is limited to 72 players, and I've seen the golf course a few times since I've been here, and I hear it has a reputation for being one of the best and most scenic and challenging in Japan and in the Army. I know anyone who competes in this event on Saturday is going to definitely have to bring their A game. If you're looking for more information about it, you can call 263-5284.
Excellent. Yeah, and I feel like, too, I still kick myself for not bringing my golf clubs over to Japan, right? You feel like, I don't need my golf clubs. It's not the States. Then I realize, most of the bases here usually have a golf course. So I don't know. At least I'm glad that the Camp Zama golf course, the community club or the club over there, as well as the one on Yokota, they do rentals, which is great as well. And then I see also you have a bench press and deadlift competition coming up. What's that?
Oh yeah. So next Wednesday on August 14th at Yano Fitness Center, there'll be a bench press and deadlift competition. So for all those weightlifters in our community, this will be a great chance for you to come out and show us what you got. This event is open to all military personnel, retirees, DA civilians, AFEs, employees, SOFA family members 18 years and older and not in high school. And that includes our Japanese Ground Self-Defense Force members and our master labor contractor employees. So there'll be a men's and women's division, and there's no fee to enter this event. But the deadline is to register the day prior on August 13th at 9 p.m. So you can do that either by visiting the Yano front desk or by calling 263-4664.
Excellent. Lastly, I know here that you want to end August right with a pretty cool run coming up for Labor Day. What's that?
Oh, yeah. So finally, on Wednesday, August 28th, we're going to be having our Labor Day 4-mile run starting at 7 p.m. on the Gamahara Family Housing Area. This event is basically just a way to sort of ring in the fall season, hopefully some cooler weather, and it's a great chance to be outside for a nice but not too long run. Like the weightlifting competition, this is open pretty much to everyone 18 years and older and not in high school. And the deadline to register for that event is August 26th at 9 p.m. And again, you can call or stop by Yano Fitness Center or call 263-4664.
Excellent, sir. Yeah, and for anyone listening, always remember, zama.armymwr.com has a lot of these events. They keep it up to date all the time. And especially, you got to remember that for any kind of latest updates, maybe including severe weather or any changes to road conditions over there at Camp Zama area, just remember to go to www.facebook.com/USAGJ. All right, U.S. Army Garrison Japan. You can look at their Facebook page and see a lot of up-to-date stuff. Sir, before you go, did you have a song request for us today?
Yeah, thanks, Scotty G, for asking. So my family and I just came from 4 great years in Hawaii, and one of the things I learned about while we were there is really stuck with me is the Hawaiian concept of ohana, or family. And so as Garrison Commander, nothing is more important to me than the health, safety, and overall well-being of our U.S. Army Japan families. So along with that, I think it'd be great to have something that gets us motivated for the day and focused on what lays out for us. So maybe you could play Joy by For King and Country. All
right, sir, you got it. Once again, that was the U.S. Army Garrison Japan Commander Colonel Thomas Matelski hanging out with us for the hour, and we appreciate you calling in right now. For King and Country with Joy on Eagle 810.